Hey everybody, it's Jay Baer from Convince and Convert, and welcome to Marketing Marvels, the video show where I bring you the very best marketing tools and softwares out there so that you, the busy marketer, know what you should consider licensing and what you should set aside. Every episode of Marketing Marvels has some interesting guests, has a quick demo so you can get a feel for the software and the tool for today's episode, give you a place to go to request a demo of your own at the end of the show, ask some questions of the proprietor of that company so you get to get a feel for them and their culture personally, kind of what it costs, whether it is right for you. And I am super fired up about today's episode of Marketing Marvels because my man Joe Griffin, who's the CEO of ClearVoice, joins us. Now, ClearVoice is a super interesting tool. I really like how they're coming at multiple problems and can combine those answers into one solution. So let's say you run a busy blog and you've got lots of different blog posts and you've got contributors and you're also doing email and you're doing podcasts, you got all kinds of stuff going on. The question is always, well, how should we manage that? Like, should we have a calendar? Should we have a calendar that different people can look at? The answer is, of course, yes. And ClearVoice has very robust calendaring and content organization schemas built into it. So you can figure out, like, when does the episode due? When does the blog post due, etc. But if you've got a very busy blog, lots of content to be created, at some point you might think, you know what? I don't have enough people on my team to make all this content. I need other people to help write for us, make infographics, etc. So ClearVoice has an influencer identification system and an entire database of content creators that you can hire inside the platform to create content for your blog and your content campaigns and initiatives. All the payment is handled right inside ClearVoice. All the content submissions, edits, and publication is handled right inside the tool, and the tool hooks up to all the major CMS platforms, WordPress, of course, HubSpot, etc. It's all for you there in one nice, neat, tight little package, easy-to-use interface, as well as you're about to see. Big fan of what these guys are doing. Welcome, Joe Griffin to Marketing Marvels. Anything I missed in the description of your awesome tool, ClearVoice?
No, that's a great overview, and thanks for having me, Jay. It's good to be here.
Oh, it's fantastic to have you here. Got all kinds of secret recipe stuff on the whiteboard behind him, so make sure we don't show that too long. People will like steal your good ideas back there. Do you want to show it to us? You want to get in the demo?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Let me open this guy up real quick.
Do it.
All right. Okay.
Ta-da.
Let me know if that's popping up for you.
Yep, I see it.
Great. So, you gave a good rundown, Jay, of a lot of the things that are in the platform. I'd love to maybe step through a couple things, see if I can just add some context to what you put out there. You mentioned, managing content. I think that's a great place to start. ClearVoice gives you the opportunity to manage all of your content initiatives from one place. So what I'm showing you today is the actual ClearVoice.com account we use to manage our own business and our own content marketing. And so we've defined different campaigns for our business. So different campaigns for us is our blog. Campaigns are our gated content, so ebooks and white papers. Our PR kind of initiatives that we're doing are being done through campaigns. So we use campaigns to set the brand voice and the tone for those different initiatives. And so each campaign can have a different settings, different guidelines, editorial guidelines, creator guidelines. You can set your personas up in the platform and then assign those personas to different campaigns so that if you've got one campaign that's targeting to one audience, those personas can be targeted versus a different audience. Those personas will be targeted. So campaigns are really the way that you manage all of your content projects. And then inside those campaigns, you have your assignments. Assignments are really the glue that's holding together the content strategy, the writers, the editors, the deadlines, the due dates. All those different content initiatives are, again, managed through the platform, and all the creation's done there. The editing's done there. The revisions are done there. There's a system that's built to manage all those revisions and that editing. And so what happens though when you start to really use ClearVoice to manage your assignments and manage your content is you kind of have this editorial calendar that gets automatically developed for you. So you can at any time come to the editorial calendar, create new things that you want due in 2 weeks or in a month, but also all of the active assignments that you're working on just automatically live here. And as assignments are going through different stages, like maybe they move to the editing stage, or as you change a due date or a publication date, the editorial calendar is a live view that you don't actually have to update. It kind of updates itself, and it gives you a lot of transparency into the content that's going on and what people are working on, and you can jump in at any time into a particular assignment and see the progress of that assignment and where it's at, and collaborate in real time, built-in messaging with those creators. So the calendar just gives you, insight in everything that you're working on.
So you get some email notifications as well. If a creator says, hey, I've submitted this piece into the tool, do you as the editor get some sort of ping that says, hey, there's something in there for you to check?
Right. And I think that's one of the core things that separates this from just a spreadsheet. Like, why wouldn't I just use a spreadsheet? Well, spreadsheet doesn't live update, right? This live updates, you can share this calendar with different people. And then, like you said, it's connected to email notifications. So if an assignment is running late, you'll get notified. And if a due date gets pushed out or a publication date gets pushed out, if something's been submitted to you for editorial review, you'll be notified. Writers are also notified if they are at the beginning of the day on the deadline of content. They'll get a reminder, hey, your content's due today. If they don't submit that content and change the due date, they'll get a reminder the next day, hey, your content's it's a day past due and you haven't updated the due date. So there is an accountability that's built into the platform. And I think that I find it to be extremely useful because especially with content, as you know, you can have a million different initiatives going on and it's hard to track everything.
I love it. And different people can have different versions of that calendar, right? So the email people can have sort of their version and the blog post people can have their version, et cetera.
Exactly right. So you can filter by campaign, you can filter by user, you can filter by publication. So if you've hooked up multiple publications to ClearVoice, you can filter by publication. That actually that's really handy for actual publishers that may have 10 different sites that are using ClearVoice.
Sure.
A lot of different ways to filter that calendar. Yeah. And I mentioned publications, so I'll just mention while we're at it, you can connect ClearVoice to your publication. So WordPress, HubSpot, we have an open API, which means even if you have something homegrown or some enterprise CMS, you can connect ClearVoice to anything. I mentioned personas as well earlier. You can put your personas into the platform to give your writers and editors context about who that audience is that they're producing content for. And then I think it's helpful too to kind of give you a little sneak peek at maybe the user screen. All of, our writers, we have a couple writers. We've got, an editor. We don't have a big content team. Like most companies, we don't have a big content team. A couple writers and an editor. We have some content strategy people. We got some SEO people, some social media people. We've got some PR people, some, marketing stakeholders, some directors of marketing, things like that. And so we want all of our team to have access to the platform, right? So they can see what's going on, so they can interact. So they have access to the editorial calendar, so they can see where content is at in any particular life cycle of that content. We also have some freelancers of our own. So even before we built the platform, we had a handful of writers and some creatives we were working with. So we invite those freelancers into the platform too, where we assign them things, give them deadlines. They submit their content to us through the platform. We pay them through the platform. So you can actually pay your existing freelancers through the platform as well. And then we've recruited a ton of new experts through the platform by using some of the recruit functionality where we are able to then bring creators, of course, to you to produce content. So in our account, we have about 100 different users across all those different disciplines that I mentioned. And we're definitely power users, but our content marketing is very visible in the organization. We can turn things around quickly, and we have a ton of elasticity by using the platform.
And so if you want to then find new people to create content for you, you can actually use the ClearVoice search engine to do that.
Right, correct. So part of ClearVoice and some of the planning tools and also in some of the recruiting tools, we have something called Content Studio. And Content Studio it's a full index of really almost the entire web. It's the top 250,000 digital publishers. And we index that content every day, and we look and see who's producing that content, how's that content performing. And so we open up a search engine, and I'm going to search content marketing, the relevant example. And we're going to bring in a lot of publishers that are in that category, but also all the writers that are in that category, the top creators, the top influencers in that space. And we give you full access to this as part of the platform. And then you can view those profiles. We have very robust portfolios for all of the different creators across the web and in our marketplace. And here's an example of an individual who's prolific in business, prolific in his content kind of scope and his content capabilities. And I mean, we've got works here on the left-hand side that are, very, very current, today current, right? So we know all the content he's producing across all the different publishers and what he's talking about and how his content's performing. That level of transparency now gives our customers the ability to partner with creators in a way that they've historically really not been able to do. And we also treat that relationship a lot differently. This is not a marketplace where you come and buy one piece of content. I mean, yeah, you could do that, but really this is about building a relationship with creators and building out a contributor network. You might have 2 or 3 people that you partner with that are on your contributor network inside the platform. And you might have 20, or in our case, 100. And we're using these people for PR purposes. We're using them for on-page content. They're helping to author gated content, all kinds of things. And you find them through the platform. And the way you do that is by recruiting those creators and posting a content job, which is a private content job, where you will identify the topics that you're interested in, what your budgets are for some of the articles you want to produce, and we'll give you guidance around how to pay. But we do match up creators based on what they charge and our clients based on what they want to pay. We meet in the middle on that, and we give guidance on both sides. And when we give you that, when you do recruit for these new creators, they'll come to you. They'll actually apply to work for you, and then you'll be able to analyze those opportunities, hire individuals to do a particular assignment, but you can also favorite anybody that came back to you that applied and add them to your team. And then that means that you can direct hire them in the future. So a couple of these recruitment jobs can easily get you 5, 10, 20 creators that you can hire to do different works. And then you can organize them in different ways, build teams, favorite them, rate them, and really have a nice creator network that you can have for yourself.
And all the payment stuff goes right through ClearVoice, right? So you upload a credit card, and then all the payment to those creators happens through the platform.
Correct. Put the credit card on the file. You fund your own account balance. When you run out of money, using the credit card that's already on the file, you replenish those dollars. You can put in any amount of money that you want, and then it will add money to your account balance. And then what's also cool about ClearVoice, it's just built in. All the creators accept these terms when they come to you and they apply. You don't pay them until you're satisfied. So, we do have a 2 revision limit request. That's not a hard limit. We don't want to see a ton of revisions going back and forth. We really try to not moderate that a whole lot. It's really, like I said, it's matchmaking more than it is buying content.
Yep.
But the way it works is that they'll submit their content, and then if any revision requests, any editing that needs to be done, you can collaborate. There's built-in messaging, right? So you can live chat, live talk to them in the platform. And when you're satisfied, you click approve, and that will automatically pay them at that point in time, and it'll pull that money out of your account balance.
For an agency and you're working on content marketing, content creation for a number of different clients, you can manage all of those clients inside one version of ClearVoice and have one sort of calendar for client B and one set of contributors for client B and a different calendar, a different set of contributors for client A, and run it all through one license, which is super slick.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the Enterprise Edition. The Enterprise Edition is designed for large teams and agencies, and it gives them the exact functionality you mentioned, so that they can manage all their clients in one place and organize their clients easily within one platform.
And then the pro version is kind of the middle size, and that's for small and medium-sized teams who have multiple users inside the platform, 2 editors and a marketing director or something along those lines, and then X number of contributors. There's no limit there. Then there's a basic version, which is just for one user. So if you are sort of the person who is running the blog and really wants to use ClearVoice primarily to find new writers, to find new contributors, then that's the basic version, which doesn't give you as much of the calendaring function, but gives you access to the database of people, the ability to hire people, post content jobs, pay them, etc.
Exactly. Yeah, if you've got an editor in your company, Fantastic. If you've got a marketing manager, a PR person, a social person, anybody that you really want to collaborate with, you'd want to be a Pro Edition customer. But like you said, if you just are one person, you need to get some content, partner with some creators, Basic Edition's all you need.
Awesome. I love it. So let me ask you a few questions here before we wrap it up. Seems like best customers for ClearVoice, certainly if you've got a relatively small team, but you need more content contributors, then the basic version's fine. If you've got a decent sized team, you're fairly serious about this, you've got multiple people inside the tool, then the Pro Edition is for you. And then if you've got a fairly robust set of circumstances and or you're an agency, then the enterprise version is right. I assume you guys charge a monthly licensing fee for this?
Correct. Yeah, the average customer, just to tell you, the average customer spends about $300 to $400 a month for the platform. And, that means that some of those customers are Pro and Enterprise, some are basic. So, our pricing, starts really low at about $99 a month. And so we try to really just lower that barrier to entry. But even for enterprise customers, we have some functionality that competes, with some of the other middle market, upper market tools that are out there. But, we're priced a lot more favorably.
Yeah, that really is quite reasonable. You're right. There's other tools out there that do some similar things that are 5 and 10 times that amount of fee on a monthly basis. So it is a super good deal for ClearVoice. I'll have Joe flip back over to camera, but meanwhile, let me tell you where to go to get your own demo, ladies and gentlemen. If you are a Marketing Marvels fan, you want to spend a little more time with ClearVoice, and absolutely recommend that because I think it's super slick, really combines a lot of things in one tool, easy to use and super inexpensive, as I just said. Go to content content.clearvoice.com/marketingmarvels, content.clearvoice.com/marketingmarvels, and you'll see the link below this video as well. Joe, a couple questions about you as well. You're a smart guy. You've been doing business for a while. Why this company? How did you get here?
I think I found myself and my partner and I mean, we found ourselves in the same boat that a lot of marketers, did in kind of the early 2010s, 2011, 2012. Content, became, obviously we saw such a flood of content, and Google and other search engines and even the social media kind of landscape started really rewarding high quality content in the way that was what we had talked about for 10 years before that, but just from an algorithmic perspective, from the way consumers kind of reward content by sharing it, high quality content really started to stand out. And so we knew that this was something that companies would struggle with. We knew that companies today are being asked to be, in a way, content brands of their own, producing high quality content in a way that they typically haven't done in the past. And so in order to do that, we wanted to bring them the functional tools and the people that would really allow them to do that. And we had always been invested heavily in technology. We have some roots in the agency background, digital marketing agency background. So we certainly understood the landscape, and we made that decision we made a decision to really go all in and build a platform that any content marketer could use.
Man, I love it. And you're right about any content marketer, because the example that you showed, which is for your own company, of how to source contributors and content participants, you're looking for people to write about content marketing, as am I on my blog, but a lot of people do that. But even if you have a really specific topic, like you're looking for some weird pharma niche or something else, even if you don't have enough content contributors in the existing ClearVoice database, your team will go out and recruit additional writers. So if you think, well, my company is really nerdy, my thing is really specific, we're in this like crazy B2B thing, don't sweat. Because if there's not enough contributors that are topically aligned today, Joe and his crew will go out there and recruit them for you so that you'll have enough potential contributors to work with. And that, I think, is in and of itself worth its weight in gold. Because if you had to go do that yourself and go approach those potential contributors, find them, B, approach them, C, recruit them, just the time required to do that would be significant for sure. So that there may be a fee associated with that depending on what it is, but trust me, it's way cheaper to have Joe and the ClearVoice guys do it than to do it yourself.
Well said, Jay.
Right? Exactly. Last question for you. Love ClearVoice, love what you're doing. What else do you love? Like, other than your own software, of course, what's a marketing marvel to you, Joe?
I think that, when companies are able to really embrace content marketing, get that corporate buy-in, we know how challenging it is. And it takes time. I mean, the investment in developing content is one that you're going to have to wait on a lot of times before you start really seeing that payback. But I've been really impressed with some companies that are, even small businesses that have been able to effectively blog. If a company can blog 2 or 3 times a week and just do that consistently and really put out some high quality content. There's no reason to put out content that's not high quality. So my recommendation would be, if you can only blog once a month and that's the only, amount of high quality content you can put out, just do that. And then work into that 2 or 3 times a week. But companies that are doing 2 or 3, great pieces a week, not only are they getting great results from an email subscriber base perspective and obviously growing their ability with email marketing, but what they're producing from an SEO perspective, powering their social media. I feel like it's just such a fundamental thing. So that always impresses me. I mean, from a technology, other marketing models from a technology perspective, I mean, I love a lot of what like Buffer's doing. I think they're doing a great job. HubSpot's probably one of the best, coolest brands out there in terms of just they built a wide product, but it's deep enough that I feel like it services, that SME market in a way that's really, really unique. The price point makes a lot of sense, and they're such great practitioners of content marketing, and that's one of the reasons why we partnered with, partnering the APIs together so we could push that content into HubSpot. And those are just great customers for us. They need great content.
Yeah, no question. Those guys really eat their own dog food. They know what they're doing for sure, both Buffer and HubSpot. Joe, thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate you and the entire ClearVoice team for your partnership, for the work that we do together, and congratulations on continuing to iterate a terrific tool that's going to help a lot of people at a very reasonable price point. Folks, don't forget to go to content.clearvoice.com/marketingmarvels to do a demo, talk to Joe and the team, and see how it fits for your own content creation needs. Here on Marketing Marvels, we do new episodes about every 3 weeks. I bring you something else cool that I personally believe in, that I think you will enjoy. Don't miss an episode, though. Here's what I want you to do. Go to bit.ly/marketingmarvels, all lowercase, bit.ly/marketingmarvels. That is the main YouTube page for this show. And just subscribe to my YouTube channel. That way, every time there's a new episode, you'll get an email notification that there's a new Marketing Marvels just for you. Marketing Marvels is a production of Convince and Convert Media. We do Marketing Marvels. We also have 5 podcasts, including Social Pros, Content Pros, Influence Pros, the Business of Story, and the Convince and Convert podcast. So whatever side of digital marketing you are on, we have got you covered. All of it is based on our main site, convinceandconvert.com. And of course, you can find us on iTunes as well. On behalf of the whole team at Convince and Convert, on behalf of Joe and the guys at ClearVoice, thanks so much for being here. This has been Marketing Marvels, and I'll see you next time.